we have to start there in Kansas City, Matt Harmon. There's just I felt like the theme of the NFC West was a lot of moving parts because of injuries and suspensions and trades and all that kind of stuff. For Kansas City, it feels like that is kind of sort of where we're at too, mostly because of the pending suspension for Rashee Rice.
Look at the release.
There's your separation.
Great route.
Stutter and go. Gets by clean.
That is unbelievable.
May be the greatest catch I've ever seen.
Yes, we broke down the Rashee Rice stuff a couple of episodes ago, so people can definitely kind of dive back into that one. But the biggest thing for me is that Rashee Rice obviously took a big step forward in a 3-game sample last year where he quite literally posted a 99th percentile success rate versus zone coverage. He was in the same company as like multiple Antonio Brown seasons, Cooper Kupp, the one nuclear season, and Julian Edelman in 2016. Now, obviously, Rashee Rice is not running the AB route tree. He's not even running like the Cooper Kupp route tree. He runs the route shrub. We've talked about this before. Right. It's a lot of these like quicker in-breaking stuff. So I still think that he's a really, really good player, but I don't consider him to be like a true number one receiver. I think he's like a specialized player that's really good in his role. But like the Chiefs offense needs him out there, no question. But I think they also need like one of these receivers to really step up and be a vertical player for them, because Rashee Rice is more of a horizontal win after the catch player. And he's great in that role, and I don't want to take anything away from him, but they do need somebody to win on these deeper routes, which does have to be Xavier Worthy, right? Like Worthy is the guy now that I don't want them to say like, okay, Rashee Rice is suspended, we got to pepper Xavier Worthy with like little Mickey Mouse targets, because they kind of did that late in the season last year and it went okay, but he wins on more of those like outside breaking routes from the slot. Where you really want Xavier Worthy going is down the field, where he was pretty good as a rookie. They didn't connect on those plays, but average to above average success rates on the corner, 9, post, and dig. And he ran the post, 9, and corner at a really high volume as well. So they just need to connect all those plays this year, because that is like, you could combine Xavier Worthy's route tree and Rashee Rice's route tree into like one really, really good player.
One super player.
One awesome. Oh, one like legit number one, you know? So I think that's good enough when you have Pat Mahomes, but you need to hit those plays. And Mahomes didn't always hit those plays. Worthy wasn't always where he was supposed to be as a deep threat down the field last year. That needs to get ironed out this year for this room to really fire off on all cylinders.
He didn't run a lot of dig routes, but he was pretty good on those dig routes. Only 3.7% route participation, so super light on the digs, but posting a 77.8% success rate. That'll get the job done. That's pretty good. A red route chart in regards to the comeback, curl, and slant. My God, Matt Harmon, can you quickly talk about Xavier Worthy and his struggles with the slant route? I mean, 66.7% success rate on the slant route. That's embarrassingly bad. I mean, you want to be at around 80% to be deemed even good. I mean, you could be over 85, 86, 87% if you're one of these elite slant runners. But bro, 66.7%. And it's not like he didn't run them. 17.2% route participation on the slant. That is bad.
Yeah. That's why when people are like, oh, he was in the Rashee Rice role, I don't think so. The whole point of the Rashee Rice role is like running slants, and Xavier Worthy can't really do it, because like, I'll give Rashee Rice credit. He's not a terrible man coverage player. He's like right kind of just below average, but he is pretty good at getting off the line of scrimmage and winning against man coverage on slant routes in particular. Now he's not a vertical threat down the field against man coverage. That's where he needs to develop. But Worthy, the reality is the dude is just small. Okay. And like, he gets swallowed up anytime he's pressed, like running slants. And that's why, like, even though he's the fastest player on the field from a 40 time perspective, his 9 route success rate is just average at 56%, which is fine. Like, he can be a vertical threat in that way, but if you line him up against press man coverage, he's just not going to win those reps. He's a 16th percentile player against press coverage. And that's just an easy way to take him away because he just doesn't have the physicality to do it. And he's like not so overwhelming as a technician like a Tank Dell was when he was really firing off as a rookie, that he can win against man and press coverage in that way. So like Worthy definitely needs to become like an elite route runner and technician to make up for his lack of size. And I would say he is not a bad route runner. He's really good against zone coverage, actually 80.1%. But that is an area where he needs to kind of take a step forward because just from a size perspective, like you get your hands on him, he's not getting off a slant. He's not getting into open on a slant at that point.
Okay, so Rashee Rice, I don't totally know what the suspension is going to look like. There's been some legal experts online, like actual lawyers examining this thing, think that it might be a 3 to 4 game suspension. I don't know. We'll take a look. I don't know what it's going to be. But Jalen Royals is certainly a name that has now, kind of sort of bubbling up a little higher if we're talking about some buzz here. He's a 6 foot, 205 pound senior out of Utah State. Ran a very respectable 4.4240. This is a player that just played 7 games in 2024 due to ankle injuries, which is why I believe he fell in the draft. But I really liked him in contested catch, and I think he may have relied on that a little bit too much. But I think Jalen Royals is a pretty darn good player, and I'm really interested to see how does Andy Reid in Kansas City kind of sort of unlock the ceiling for this young player.
Right, because if you weren't following us during the draft, you probably missed us talking about this. But I reposted the clip recently, and we might have mentioned it we were talking about Rashee Rice, but he did get a pretty favorable like Rashee Rice comp from JJ Zachariason, his data guide, and you look like they have the exact same size, pretty similar athletic testing, an identical 1.49 93rd percentile 10-yard split. So I think that is Royals' game. Like he gets same with Rice. Just takes off and goes like very fast. Royals is that way too. Now he is raw as a route runner, so he's going to need some roll catering. That is definitely the case with Rashee Rice too. But yeah, he was okay against man coverage, 68.9%. Like that's not terrible, but definitely needs to work against press and settling down in the right spots against zone. But he was also primarily playing in a very, very wide open offense and running like an X receiver route tree. He will not be doing that at the NFL level. He will probably be a guy that does. I think he's like good Rashee Rice insurance. And, if he can develop in that way, that would be really interesting because the thing that stood out to me the most was in terms of why I thought Royals was interesting. Now he was a guy that I thought he was a day 3 draft pick and he should have gone in the 3rd day, which is where he went. So that was fair to me. But the thing that was good to me was his after catch work. I thought he was really good. Once you get the ball in his hands, he was in space on 58% of his sample catches. He went down on first contact on less than half of those plays, broke multiple tackles on 17.2%. So definitely somebody that like you can get the ball in his hands. He can work after the catch, which fits well in this offense, especially if they're trying to replace Rashee Rice.
Yeah, the route running obviously needs a lot of work, but once the ball's in the air, he's an interesting player, isn't he? You know what I mean? Like he's good in contested catch. I thought he was, again, not super. I think one of my takeaways from watching Jalen Royals play was that, man, this guy's play strength was a lot more than you would expect from a 6 foot, 205 pound player. You know what I mean? Like he's got really good play strength. I wouldn't say he's explosive downfield because he wasn't, but man, that short area shake though, after the catch, pretty good. Pretty good. And by the way, that you could say the exact same thing about Rashee Rice as well. So, is he the Rice replacement? Very possibly, but we got to see what his development has looked like during this offseason. And let's see if Andy Reid and the boys can get him in a position to succeed.